So, what makes Arcane so good? And what can the creators of future video game shows learn from this absolute banger of a series now that the second season is over with? Let's get one thing straight. Video game adaptations have been not great. For years, Hollywood has treated them like how my friends treat me at their weddings. You think you're really good friends, but then you get seated all the way in the back, shunned away from everyone else. Okay, not sure if that makes sense, but Arcane in 2021 didn't just defeat the video game curse. It obliterated it, set it on fire, and then laughed maniacally while walking away. But why? What makes Arcane so dang special? Well, for starters, it's animated. Live action video game adaptations, yeah, they don't have the best track record. Usually they get roasted for cheap effects, cringe character writing, and let's not forget, outrage about how the characters look. But here's the beauty of Arcane. Because it's animated, we didn't have to deal with any of that. No awkward casting debates, no questionable wigs, no CGI that looks like it was done in someone's basement at 3 a.m. The characters, they're from the source material. Boom, done. Now, does being animated mean a video game adaptation is automatically gonna be amazing? No. Case in point, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. All I remember about that movie was Bowser simping so hard for Peach, Mario is really just Chris Pratt, and somehow the character I related to the most was Luma Lee, the nihilistic little star who just wanted to vibe in the void. And honestly, same.
No escape. The only hope is the sweet relief of death.
But Arcane, it proves that animation can elevate a video game adaptation into something extraordinary. The art style, the storytelling, it's a perfect fit for the larger-than-life of League of Legends. And honestly, could a live-action Jinx ever pull off those chaotic, glitchy visuals? I think not. Speaking of Jinx, Arcane transforms her and her sister into actual relatable people. They're sisters, they're enemies, they're everything in between. And it hurts. It hurts so good. Even other characters in the show have depth. Jace and Victor, the journey these two go on is quite interesting to say the least. Caitlyn, actual detective in the beginning, turned into a badass leader. There's also Mal and her complicated relationship with her mother. Even villains are impossible not to empathize with. Take Silco in season 1. His motivations are so deeply human that, in his position, I can't say I wouldn't make the same choices. Characters are the fulcrum of any good story, and this show nailed it. Heck, even the action sequences set a new benchmark for animated storytelling. Each fight feels meticulously crafted, not just to dazzle visually, but to serve the narrative and deepen character development. The fights are intense, raw, and emotionally charged, drawing you in with stakes that feel personal and grounded. The choreography is dynamic and creative, with each character's fighting style reflecting their personality and backstory. For example, Vi's brawling style is brutal and straightforward, mirroring her raw, street-smart toughness, while Jinx's chaotic, unpredictable weaponry reflects her fractured psyche. The music underscores the action brilliantly, with adrenaline-pumping tracks that elevate the tension to unforgettable heights. In my opinion, the standout fight has to be Vi vs Jinx in Season 2, Episode 3, a perfect encapsulation of everything that makes Arcane's action scenes so extraordinary. This confrontation masterfully combines emotional depth, stunning choreography, and breathtaking visuals, delivering a moment that lingers long after the episode ends. What made these action sequences amazing was the animation. Like I mentioned earlier, the animation in Arcane isn't just good, it's like really good. Animation was done by Forche Studios Forche? I don't know, whose style was combining hand-drawn art, a combo of 2D and 3D, and some sort of sorcery because it's freaking beautiful. It's like being colorblind and suddenly seeing the world in vivid color for the first time. Animation gives Arcane this creative freedom you can't get with live action. It's vibrant, expressive, and chaotic in all the right ways. Can you imagine this level of intensity in live action? And then there's world building. Piltover and Zon, absolute opposites, but both feel so real. On one side, you've got Piltover, the city of progress. It's all shiny towers, fancy gadgets, and probably great healthcare. And then there's Zon, a gritty industrial wasteland where people are just trying to survive. It's also messy, dangerous, and kind of tragic, but it's also full of resilience, rebellion, and heart. It's the details that make this world feel alive. The politics, the economy, every little thing ties into the story and makes the stakes feel real. I also have to talk about the voice actors in Arcane, because without them, this story wouldn't have come to life. They didn't just read lines, they lived them. The voice cast took the already gorgeous animation and storytelling and leveled it up to 100 times. Seriously, their performances made me feel like I was a part of the action. Another thing that must be mentioned is the music. From Imagine Dragons' electrifying Enemy, setting the tone in the intro, and their slightly awkward cameo in the show, to the haunting, atmospheric scores that elevate every scene. Arcane uses its soundtrack to power the emotions, the action, and the story itself. Straight up, it sometimes felt like I was watching a music video. So what can future video game adaptations learn from Arcane? First up, more animation please. Games are already larger than life, so why force them into the box of live action? Animation lets you go wild without looking silly. Also, make make us care about the characters. We don't want cardboard cutouts spouting catchphrases. We want messy, complicated people with messy, complicated feelings. I don't know if that makes sense, but you get it. Next, respect the lore, but don't drown us in it. Not everyone's played 400 hours of your game. Arcane gives enough context for newcomers while sneaking in goodies for the diehard fans. And finally, don't skimp on quality. Arcane took years to make and it shows. Good storytelling takes time, money, and people who actually care. You can't just slap a logo on something and hope for the best. Arcane isn't just a great show, it's a blueprint for how to get video game adaptations right. If future shows follow its lead, we might finally see more hits than misses. Now tell me, what video game do you want to get the Arcane treatment? And as always, I will see you in the next video.